we gon' talk about it. Danni Gyrl, pull up, sit down, yeah. Kick your shoes off, lean back, tell truth. We've all got scars, we've all been bruised. Feels too high, jaw feels small. Heart been broke, you still stand tall. Hey. From the crib to the car, you've been carrying weight. You ain't crazy, you're tired. You're allowed to be late. The space here, yeah, is made for that. Real life, real love, real ugly facts. Couch conversation, nothing's off limits. Say what you're scared to say. We gon' live it. Real people, real pain, and real elevation. On the couch with Danni Gyrl, we talk transformation. On the couch with Danni Gyrl, we talk transformation. Yeah. Talk faith, talk fear, talk wins, talk shame. Talk I left, talk I stayed, talk I heal slow, talk I still bleed, talk I forget them, talk what about me? We laugh in the mess, we cried and we clapped. You still here, that's the victory lap. From the hurt to the hope, we connect those dots. You're not what you did, you more than your loss. Couch conversation, nothing's off limits. Say what you're scared to say. We gon' live it. Real people, real pain, and real elevation. On the couch with Danni Gyrl, we talk transformation. On the couch with Danni Gyrl, we talk transformation. If you feel alone, you can pull up too. Your story got power, let it come through. What you survive might save somebody else. Speak that truth, heal your own scars. Conversation, nothing's off limits. Say what you're scared to say. We gon' live it. Real people, real pain, and real elevation. On the couch with Danni Gyrl, we talk transformation. On the couch with Danni Gyrl, we talk transformation.
Welcome to Couch Conversations, y'all. Oh, let me fix my mic. Sorry, y'all. I got the mic all behind me. How y'all doing tonight? Welcome back to Couch Conversations. I am your favorite talk show host, the one and only Danni Gyrl. And thank y'all for tuning in. I am excited about tonight's show. You know what? This season has had some amazing guests. And I appreciate everybody that has been on this season. And I'm looking forward to next season as well. So thank you to everybody that comes on the show and is coming on the show. I really appreciate y'all. Before we get into the show, I have a couple of announcements. My train ride for my birthday, November 3rd. Let me give y'all details on that for the people that don't have it. Let me pull it up real quick. Got everything in my phone. So the train ride is November the 3rd. We're leaving Union Station at 10:10 a.m. We are returning from San Diego. We're going to the San Diego Santa Fe Depot. So I'm giving y'all this information for the people that wanted it for their tickets. We're departing Union Station at 10:10 a.m. going to Santa Fe Depot in San Diego. We are returning from San Diego at 7:01 p.m. Okay? The round trip ticket is $72 a person. And I will be announcing where we're having lunch at on the season premiere, the season 10 premiere of Couch Conversations. Tickets can be purchased at Amtrak.com with the info that is on the flyer. If you have any additional questions, let me know. Please make sure that you RSVP by September 20th so that we can have a final head count for lunch. If you have any questions about that, just let me know and we can get those answered for you. Also, my birthday bash. Let me find the flyer for that. I need to get better organized season 10, y'all. I'm getting better, but I need to be more organized. My 48th birthday bash, November the 7th at 6 p.m. It is at my house. The dress code is upscale. All the free RSVPs are gone. So if you send me a RSVP, make sure you send your $20 with it. You can Apple Pay it or Zelle it to my phone number, or you can Cash App it to the real Danni Gyrl. Your $20 includes drinks and dinner. We have alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks and dinner. Your $20 is going to include everything. Y'all, please come out. I'm really about making memories this year. This isn't like a big shindig. That's why I'm having it at my house. It's more intimate and more about the people that's coming. So I'm really on making memories this year. I'm gonna be taking a lot of pictures. So y'all show up, come out, show out, all that. And the last thing, artist development boot camp is starting September the 22nd. The orientation is September the 19th. It is a 5-week virtual class by Zoom. Make sure that you have a headshot and a bio and a performance video before you sign up. The orientation is Saturday, September the 19th at 1 p.m. Pacific time. All these times are Pacific time to all the people that are coming and they are in another state. Class starts September 22nd at 5 p.m. Pacific time. You can opt to have your classes on Tuesdays or Saturdays, but you need all 5 weeks to finish. Okay. The spots are limited. I think I have 5 spots left, so make sure that you tap in with me if you're interested in this. Let me check the comments. Let's see who's watching. Why my comments don't want to come on today? Here we go. Hey, thank you to everybody watching on YouTube. And I appreciate y'all for real, for real. So let me see. I think those are, oh no, one more announcement. Season 10. I am now booking guests for season 10. Our season 9 finale is next week. Season 10 starts September 17th, I believe it is. I'm going to be having a new co-host for season 10. We're going to have Tim Lewis as our co-host, and he'll be co-hosting every other week. So y'all stay tuned for that. We have a new format. We coming out with some new segments. We just got some new stuff going on. So I'm excited about everything that's going on. Also, December 26th, I have to give you the exact location and the exact date. But TRL Ministries is having a revival featuring Tim Lewis and Reverend Jeffrey Mason. And yours truly will be there doing the announcements, okay? So, you know, I got to put a little razzle dazzle on it, but I'll be there doing the announcements. So y'all make sure y'all tap in, okay? If you have anything that you would like to be read on the show, please let me know, and I'll make sure that I get it on there. Also, we are looking for season 10 sponsors. If you're interested, shout out to my candle sponsor for season 8, season 9, and we just worked out season 10. So Blessed Creations, Apostle Shaquan Huggins, thank you so much. And y'all know I love my candles burning during the show. I don't have one burning right now because I got the air on and it's just going to blow it out. I already tried. But thank you to him. And if you are interested in being a sponsor for season 10, please text sponsor to 702-578-6716 and let's chat. Okay, now let's get into the show, y'all. Because this is what I've been waiting on. Because this lady just been blessing my soul just over and over and over again. And she don't even know. First of all, I'm going to give her the introduction that she deserves because she don't even know how much she blesses my soul. Like, I'm very inspired by her, okay, y'all? First of all, I watched her weight transformation, which I thought was so beautiful. Like, if y'all know, I struggle, or some of y'all probably don't know, I struggle with my weight going up and down, and I try to stay below 200, but it is not working right now since my leg been out of whack. but she does the chair workouts. So I've talked to my doctor the other day. I'm about to start chair workouts because I actually can go for about 10 or 15 minutes. She's a pastor. She's an educator. She just opened up her own school. I'm so proud of her. She's an entrepreneur, and I'm blessed to have her on the show. Um, if you follow her, you know she's been putting up these videos, and as much as I laugh at them, they really bless me because she did the laundry videos. The laundry videos. Oh my God, those were so hilarious. And then today she put up a video, and I just laughed. I laughed, but she's been putting up these videos, and she just been blessing my soul with these little video skits she been doing. But I am so blessed to have pastor, coach, educator Akilah Bailey on the show tonight. So y'all show her some love.
You got me over here crying. Oh my goodness. Thank you for that. You got me over here crying.
You are welcome.
Okay. So I'm here. I'm happy to be here. Finally, I always tap in when I'm leaving class and I be on it. You be having some good stuff. And I be like, dang, I be missing it. So when you were like, we got to get you on the couch, I'm like, absolutely. Like, we're going to hurry up and rush her off this workout. So I just got out of Thursday's class at Bodywork in Compton. So shameless plug. Right here in the city of Compton on Rosecrans and Long Beach Boulevard. So we have classes on Thursday nights, but I am glad that we could work it out so I could be here on the couch on tonight, as we say in church.
Yeah. So just tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into this.
Ooh, like you gave me a really good introduction. I am pretty much like a gumbo bowl. I am a little bit of everything. I come with a lot of trial, error, and struggle, but I am an overcomer. I don't like to sob in my struggle, but I've been through a lot. But I do. I am an educator. I recently opened up a school, and I'm married. I'm on my second marriage. Praise God. Hallelujah. Restoration. And I'm a pastor, but I say now that I'm a practicing Christian because what I've come to realize is that we are really not we ain't gonna make the mark. We're not making the mark. So there ain't no point of putting ourselves in a place where, we calling ourselves something that we're not, because I'm gonna mess up. You're gonna catch me not looking like, not sounding like a pastor. I'm not the norm in anything that I do. So I just consider myself a lover of God, a believer in Jesus, a leader, an innovator, a motivator, and a pusher. So that's just pretty much me. I'm very much hood. I'm very much the Diddy. I'm very much upfront, blunt, like all of the things. That would be me.
All of the things.
All of the things. Hey, Jonathan! Shout out to my church members in the chat. What up, chat?
Shout out to everybody. I need to get my listen. I ain't even got my. I was so into my intro. I didn't even pull my.
Wait a minute. Let's talk about your intro. I need me a song because I was sitting over here grooving. Yeah, we are with the Danni Gyrl. Come on, intro. A whole theme song. I said I need me an intro.
My sister, so the first couple seasons of Couch Conversations, I had an intro. We switched it up a couple times. And when I went back to the guy that did my first two intros, he couldn't do it. He had just got married and he just had a lot going on. So I was trying to pick an intro, find an intro, and my sister said, I made you something. I hope you're not offended, but I just felt like you needed an intro for your show. And she sent it to me and I loved it. So shout out to my sister.
Shout out, sister.
For thinking about me. Shout out to everybody in the comments. I love y'all for tuning in. So I got a couple questions, but this is just a conversation. I had a couple questions though. I really wanted to before we get into the nitty gritty, I wanted to talk about bodywork fitness. And you're also on the Dance Fit
Everdance,
app,
Everdance.
Everdance,
Hmm.
Everdance app.
Yeah.
Um, I want to talk about bodywork fitness. I know you be seeing me tagging you to stuff when people be asking about chair exercises and things like that. And I really be like in your corner pushing people to your TikTok and things like that. The reason being is because I see a lot of people do body transformations, but in this day and age, most of it is like go get surgery and then act like you worked out. Like I literally watched your transformation. It seemed like it happened really fast. I don't know if it did or not, but it just seemed like it did.
Oh shoot. Mm-mm. It didn't happen. It was fast. It was progressive because I had weight loss and I had weight gain. What messed it up was COVID. When COVID came, I think COVID messed us all up. But when COVID came, I had to resort to doing virtual, which was a blessing. Like COVID had bodywork blow up. That's how bodywork actually went viral because it was people doing exercise, but it wasn't anybody my size. So it was like it was representation that was needed, I guess. And it just gave an opportunity for people to work out at home if you weren't close to me. And then the videos just started going crazy because I wasn't doing most chair exercise is like geriatrics. It's, for recovery, it's kind of slow, kind of boring. But I was using the whole concept of TikTok doing trends and doing dances to make that the chair exercise, and people loved it. And that's how I got on Everdance. They reached out to me because they had an app and it was mainly for choreographers who were kind of older. You know, in the dance world, once you hit like 25, you considered a senior citizen. So you have, you gigging. So most of them turned to doing exercise classes, but their app wasn't popping and they wanted to use a couple of my TikTok videos, and I sold it to them and they used it and it went viral, and then they started coming back for more and more. But I wasn't on the app. So then they saw a need and was like, we need to get your workouts actually on our app. And so I did a couple of workouts for them, and the demand just started to grow bigger. So next thing you know, their whole app was based upon the chair workout. And that's kind of like how it went from there. And when I took sick last year and I couldn't really work out anymore, that's when it was like my recovery was the chair workout, and we decided to do a bigger contract and just have me do a whole bunch of workouts all the time, and then basically me doing content for them pretty much. So you see me on all the platforms because of them. They have a very big marketing push. So I don't really have to do anything besides just do my content, and they make it go everywhere.
That is so dope. Yeah, it was funny because when I first seen you on there, I tagged you to it. I was like, "Is this really you? Is
Right,
this the
right,
same
right,
one?"
right, right. Everybody's always like, they stole your stuff. And it's because it's a culture barrier. Because shout out to Roman. He's the owner and creator of Everdance app, but they're from Berlin. They're in a different country. So it is a great partnership of learning on both sides because I give them the culture that they lack. Right. And so a lot of times, some of the stuff that they come up and they create, I should be feeling it. And I just be like, yeah, if it's something that I don't feel, I don't post it myself. So I let them do all of that. But it always comes back to me. People be like, I seen this and I seen you over here, I seen that. And if you read the caption, they do credit me, but people be on they behind. They be like, make sure it's you. But yes, if you see me, I'm getting paid for it. Trust me. I'm getting paid for it. They bought it. And the only way they can use it if they bought it from me. So
Okay. Yeah, I be tagging you to stuff and tagging bodywork fitness to stuff because I notice sometimes when it comes down my timeline, I might see in the comments where people be like, "Is this real? Or are these her real results?" And I'll be like, "Them her real results. You can go
yeah.
look on TikTok." So I be trying to push it your way, girl,
Thank
because yeah.
you. Testify. Because people do think I do on TikTok because there's a lot of people that don't know. A lot of people they will argue down like, oh, she had the surgery. Oh, she no, you did this and you did that. And it's really like I haven't had any surgery at all. Like you say, you know me. We've known each other, but haven't really like, been close. But you've seen I started out at 295 pounds. That was in 2016. And by 2017, I was down to like 240, and then COVID came. and I got back up, and then I shot back down. So it's been progression. So it's not like I it was fast. Not for me. People be like, oh, it looked fast. And I think the main thing it is with weight loss is that doing it the natural way, it's not harder. It's just you got to find your lane. You got to know. You got to learn your body, learn where your body is resistant to certain things, and make those changes around that. And then understand as I started getting older, and now I'm in menopause, the body operates way differently. So you don't lose weight as fast as you do when you were in your 30s, right? And that's what, because of the exercise, it helped me kind of navigate better the weight loss. So it wasn't a combination, it was a combination of everything. It was the exercise, the lifestyle change, and I got rid of a lot of baggage. Like me having that divorce was really a catalyst for me working on me. And it sounds cliche, but it was the truth because you are what you are around. And so I wasn't making the best choices for me, and I wasn't living my life how I wanted to live it because I'm a dancer, I'm an active person. But I was in a relationship that was not supporting the things that I do. So once I was free, it was like I'm able to do what I've always been called to do, what I've always known to do, and it just went from there.
That's like I'm just sitting here taking it all in.
Yeah,
um, so one thing I wanted to you mentioned that we know each other. So all of y'all that be fanboying over and fangirling over Andrew, Andrew plays for her choir. So
that's my baby
when
right there.
y'all want to see Andrew, y'all go see Glack. When Glack is in concert, and y'all can see Andrew because y'all be out here fanboying and fangirling over Andrew. Go to the Glack concerts, and he be there with his
And he's
bass.
gonna be there.
Okay.
And he's gonna be there. But he does
He's
not give attention. He is not one. That's my nephew. He is not one to give attention to drama and be in the mess. And that's why I always
oh
love
no,
him and always support him because he don't be in the riffraff.
Andrew is the type he really don't even like to hear it.
Yeah,
Uh, he will shut his ears off in a minute if it's something he don't want to hear, so he don't mind. Um, so do you believe that there is a connection between physical health, mental health, spiritual health, and your purpose?
absolutely. It's all encompassed, right? In First John, when he said that he wished that we would prosper, that we our whole thing. Hey y'all in the comments. It's mind, body, and spirit. And it's crazy that you asked me this because yesterday the devotion was about the greatest commandment: love your God with all your might, right? Your mind and your strength and your soul. And the one thing that I noticed that Jesus did not say is love the Lord your God with your body. And I kind of went on a tailspin with that because the body is the physical part, it's the shell, it's the flesh. And for as much as we tend to it, we neglect everything on the inside of it. But we forget that all of it works together. So we can't isolate and work on one thing without working on everything else. And it absolutely goes all together. And when you see separation of one, when you don't see the balance, right? When one thing is getting more than the other or one part is lacking, that's where you get people crazy, depressed, anxiety. Uh, I can't say that we live and I cuss. And so I gotta be careful with my words up on here because
No,
my members
on
know
this
me.
show.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
I was gonna say when people I was like, we said I cuss. So I said all kind of stuff inappropriate. But I know from being a fitness coach and being a pastor, I see the lack of balance. Like especially as believers, we're walking in purpose, but we're not taking care of our spirit. We're not taking care of our health. We're not taking care of our mental health. So it has to go together because how can you fulfill anything if you are not taking care of all of those parts? Your spirit, that's your soul, that's the core, that's your heart, your strength. You have to build, you have to exercise, you have to have endurance. So even if you are preaching, singing, you're a musician, if whatever assignment that you have in life, you don't got to be that deep to say you doing something elite in ministry. Whatever you do in your life, to parent your children, you have to be physically, mentally, spiritually, well rounded, right? Healthy to do all those things. And it does all work together.
Okay. I'm trying to keep up with the comments and listen to you.
Me too.
Um,
I got ADHD too. Because who said they like pudding? I like pudding too.
that's my friend. He's so funny. We was talking about weight loss, and he talking about he like pudding. Um, so let me see what my question was. What was my question? Oh,
Come on,
do you see
Angie.
yourself as an educator when you're teaching your fitness class? Does it all like a spiritual educator and a because you know you got all these different hats that you wear. Do they all come together when you in your fitness class?
Yep. I'll for those of you that are watching, so I have, even though I wear many hats, it's crazy that I have a different set of groups in all of those. Like I don't have a group of people, like my members, they don't come to bodywork. And then my bodywork people don't go to the church. It's very shocking when I tell people in bodywork that I'm a preacher or that I'm a pastor because they don't believe it. Bodywork allows me to be in a space where the politics of church and ministry are like out of the door, and it is just like a raw, intense. People are getting Jesus and they don't even know it. I don't have to announce it. They're just getting fire. They're getting the Holy Ghost. They're getting anointing. They're getting energy. And it doesn't have a name on it until I release it at the end of my class. So yes, I'm always in teacher mode. That's the gift because that's one of the gifts. So I don't, being a pastor is a title, but being a teacher is a gift. And I absolutely wear that. I became aware of that gift in my life when I started my first teaching job, which was at First Christian New Life Academy. And I went there to be a cheer coach, and through that process of being at a Christian school, all these things started to happen. I accepted my calling to preach. I went back to school to get into teaching for early education, and ever since then, everything that I've done has been in the mode of teaching. So from body work to me being an entrepreneur in every aspect of whatever I do, it involves teaching, motivating, inspiring, and laying ground, basically building structure, laying foundation. And it's amazing that I landed working with children because I started out as an elementary teacher. And now I work with early children because I like being at the base. I like laying the foundation and you get to see it. So I'm on my fourth tenure, right, of teaching children. So my first set of students now have children and their children come to me, and it is very amazing to see these seeds that have been planted. So I value teaching. It is in everything I do. When you come to body work, I do group fitness. It's not the average class. It's not. Group fitness is typically you come in and you learn in choreo and you leave. But I have a community. My class becomes the classroom. So I'm helping you learn your body. My clients, we all have a fitness group. We chat, we talk, we motivate each other. They have a sisterhood. They go to support each other, and it becomes that because it's ultimately the classroom. So I do believe that everything is tied to it. You will see me teaching in everything, and my members that are here, they'll tell you like everything I do becomes a lesson. It don't matter what it is; it's a lesson.
Well, yeah, because the tie became a lesson, and everything that you do has a lesson or a backstory or a message or you don't post a lot, but when you do post, it's always something significant that you feel like you need to say or a word that you're trying to give. um so yeah, I get it. You be trying to use everything to teach.
Yeah,
You do use everything to
yeah.
teach. So one of the questions I had for you was, what do you say to a person who tells you I'm too big, I'm too old, I'm too out of shape, or I'm too embarrassed to work out?
That's what I get all the time. I show them me. I show them me. My motto is if I can do it, you can do it. And that's the thing that I go on. I think for me, by me putting myself out there, it dismantles that narrative. It's like once you see me, what can you say? If you see me and I'm out here, I'm moving, I'm not no spring chicken. I love it when people come to my class. I'm like, I can't do it. I'm a senior citizen back here. People don't believe I'm almost 50. Be like, you young, you know. I'm like, no, I'm a senior citizen too. This body, I literally bring my body under submission. It don't want to do what I want it to do, but I do it. So if I could do it, you could do it. And that's the whole point of why I do body work. When you see me, it's representation of every person that says, I'm too big, I can't do that. I created body work to be that space so you can be comfortable, where you can feel okay to come here, work out. You can have your work. I like for my clients to wear your sports bras with your rolls in the back hanging out. Let that cheese on them thighs come out and shake out. Because you got to move it. And we're so insecure because of how we look, we don't want to move it. And the less and less we look at ourselves and the less and less we appreciate ourselves, the less we work on it and we avoid it. And next thing you know, it gets away from us. So to that person, I just say, if I could do it, you could do it. And if there's something that you have limitations with doing, I invent exercise and workouts that you could do from where you are. So if you're too big to stand up, I got to work out for you. If you're too embarrassed to come into class, I can work out online with you. You can't tell me that you can't do exercise when I have created every functional way for you to exercise. I've created techniques and ways for people who are big to get on the floor without getting on the floor, right? I can teach you from where you are how to do a burpee without you hurting yourself. I can pretty much assist you and navigate your way to you can do it.
Whew, let me get to some. Let me see what
Oh
that
yeah,
said.
I
It's the
honestly, and that's true.
social media.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. And that's one of the reasons because when I started, I ain't gonna hold you. I was a Planet Fitness member because 24-hour fitness was intimidating. At that time, LA Fitness was popping. And it was just like it was more comfortable. I felt comfortable going to boutiques, like studio fitness boutiques. That was like I like that. But it was everybody that was smaller. So it was like, I can't do what you can do. And then when I go to the gym, everybody was lifting weights. Everybody looks like I mean, y'all look like y'all been here all day. Come in here to do an hour. And it looked like y'all been at the gym all night and all day. And I don't understand it. So you find yourself doing the treadmill and that's it. So people do have a gym fear. And it's not anybody's fault in the gym, but I think that people are not cognizant that the gym is for everybody. And sometimes how you show up, it can, and again, not by omission, but you can treat the gym as if it's a social club for a certain group of people. And we don't take into consideration that everybody needs the gym. It's not just for people who are already buff. It's not for people who are already in shape. It's for us too that are trying to get in shape. But if we got to break the door down, and if we feel some kind of way, it does create a fear, and people don't go. So there's group fitness. Sadly, group fitness in LA, especially just in California in general, but LA more so, group fitness is not a hype thing. But in other states, it is popular because they don't have as many gyms as we have. In California, we're oversaturated with gyms. So, right, because you're in Vegas, right?
No, I'm here.
You here? Okay, so when you go, we can go to Arizona or we can go to Vegas. And there is a thirst and a hunger. Like when I go there, they're begging me, do a class, come do a class. Because, they don't have that stuff. But out here, my enrollment, it has like its ups and downs. But the thirst that other states have for the stuff that I do is bananas. Like how everybody knows me across the world. I have virtual clients in other states. And they treat me like I'm a celebrity fitness coach. But out here, they just be like, oh, yeah, there go Akilah exercise again. I can't tell. I don't even know how many. I can't even count on my hands people that I really know that actually came to my class. But they're also scared of the gym. So they don't know that group fitness is the alternative for when you have that fear of going to the gym. You could come to a group fitness setting where you don't have that stigma of looking a certain type of way, moving a certain type of way. You have community, partnership, and you have an instructor that's going to work with you. And all instructors don't work out with you. You go to some classes and they give you instructions, but I actually work out with my clients.
Mm-hmm. So one of the questions that we have is, what if you don't like being around other people, but you need to work out?
Ah, that's some lazy shit to say. Um, it's but people do have that. But the thing about it is, you
I
have to
think
be
you might just want to get the app. Just get the app.
yes, like you gotta be honest with yourself. You gotta do what you can do. Like you gotta do what you. If you don't like being around people, that's cool. But can you download the app? Can you go to YouTube and do some workouts? You know what I mean? Like, can you? There's some other things that you can do, but I feel like people make excuses at the end of the day because
So
it's alternatives everywhere.
for the people that are just tuning in, we are speaking with Miss Coach Akilah, pastor, coach, counselor, teacher, educator. She has all these hats she wears. Akilah Bailey, the owner and proprietor of Bodywork Fitness, and she is on the Everdance app. So that's what we were sitting here talking about. She has created every possible way for you to be able to work out in a comfortable manner, whether it is online. She's also on TikTok. She's on the Everdance app. You can catch her in
YouTube,
person, online, YouTube. She has so many different workouts, chair workouts, and just different. If you just go look, she has all these different workouts. They're not all chair workouts. She has a bunch of different workouts on her TikTok and YouTube, and y'all can go check it out. As far as the app as well, and yeah, she's doing her thing, and she is a product of her own workout program.
that
Okay,
part.
so yeah, um,
I don't do crack. Crack is whack. Crack is cheap. I work out.
I make too much money to ever do crack.
I make too much money to do. I do so much moving to do all of that.
Okay, so as somebody that is constantly pouring into other people, who do you have pouring into you?
Wow, that's a good question. So I'm in therapy. I suffer from PTSD, and I've been high strung with anxiety, and modes of depression since my illness, but it was a result of my fast track into menopause. So I'm chemically unbalanced, and my body does not produce enough estrogen for me for my mental state to pick it up. So I pour into myself by going to therapy. I pour into myself through exercise and doing the things that I love to do. So people be like, "Oh, you do a lot," but I'm trying to stay sane. See, everything that I do, it builds me. There's nothing that I don't do that's not for me. I refuse to not do something that makes me feel good. I eliminate drama out of my life. I don't have any type of drama. Drama could be there, but I just don't submit to it, right? Those are ways that I pour into myself. I surround myself with people who are spirit led that don't I don't even need to say anything, but my cup will get refilled when needed. When I was just going through a couple of weeks ago, my good friend, my sister friend Shauna, she called me out of nowhere, just said, "Sis, I'm about to pray for you." And just that was just relief because I'm like, girl, you even know I was sitting here about to load the gun up, like, and shoot people, not myself, but because sometimes it be like that. And she just called and to pray with me, and it was just like I leave myself open, right? So I don't withhold what I'm going through. I talk about it. That's another way that I'm able to pour in to myself by getting it out. And I've been told a lot of times by a lot of preachers, a lot of religious people will tell me that I talk too much. They say you shouldn't tell your business. You give people too much of your business, but they don't realize that I'm not crazy because I do tell my business because I am able to hear other people tell me, I was inspired by what you said. Do you know I've been dealing with the same thing? Do you know how, and it's like, wow, people don't even really talk about what they be going through, but it winds up coming back to me. So as I am pouring out, people are pouring into me, and I definitely get myself on rotation to my therapist. And I have a psychologist and I have a therapist. And I have pastors and leaders, and I have my husband. My husband is very cutthroat, but he does fill my cup a lot because he watches most of my spiraling. So he will be the one that kind of helps me rear back in. He will be the one that when I'm going crazy like this, and he'll slap me and say, "Hey, pull your shit together." He's that kind. He's not. He ain't finna be like, "Oh my God, peace and blessings." No, he gonna be like, "Do you know who you are?" He gonna be like, "Do you know who you are? Do you know what you can do?" Like he gonna be like that, and I'm gonna be like, "Okay, I can get back on." I have amazing members. The members of Angelic Christian Fellowship are just amazing. They will not allow me to feel no kind of way. Even if I feel like I have nothing and I'm empty, they always step in and always pour into me too. So, and it's a pour into when I get to see my seeds that I plant, watching them prosper, watching them be able to come back and pour into me. The biggest pour in that I got was when I was sick last year and I couldn't do absolutely anything. And it was my friend started to GoFundMe for me and the Amazon wish list. And when I tell you, I didn't have to, I was so scared about recovery at my house because I had to turn my house into a clinic, and everybody came through. People, I was just like, oh my God, people really care. So to be able to see that you plant, you take care of people, you give, you do stuff, but you never get to see it back. I was able to experience that. So that keeps me full. It keeps me full. And a little Moscato, listen, a little Moscato, okay? Thank you. And if you get the blender, put your Moscato in there with a little Casamigos. We call it the House of Negroes in my house. And you put a little fruit punch in there, sugar free, and you have you a nice little slush and the pool. I have a pool, and those things are therapeutic. That's it. And I never miss a nail shop. I don't got no job, but I will not miss the nail shop, and I will not miss getting these lashes done. And that's how I pour into me, and that's on hood.
When is Girls Day at your house?
Honey, listen, every day, because I don't even have no girls that be with my husband. I'll be like, what we doing? What we making? What we on? Anytime, especially when I'm feeling like I'm spiraling, I'll be like, I need to jump in the water. I need to jump in the water, and I need to just have a cocktail because I need to breathe. So
I'm coming over.
come over.
Okay.
Come over.
So it was something that you said that I understand. So people tell me I tell too much of my business. Um, yeah, I have a therapist too. My therapist said I'm doing well though, but people tell me I tell too much of my business. And that I'm too open and that I need to shut up sometimes. But y'all don't know it'd be real therapeutic. It's real therapeutic. And y'all would rather me get it out than hold it in. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say that so I don't be airing nothing out. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, people tell me that, and I want y'all to know. I hear y'all when y'all be telling me like I tell too much of my business and I need to shut up. But yeah, I only tell y'all what I feel like I need to get off my chest. That's all.
See, that's the difference. That's what they don't differentiate that. It's not that you don't know everything. You're just giving what I feel like I feel like just dumping. That's it. And I feel like I'm doing a service because I'm not giving you something that you can feel. I'm just giving you a piece of my mind. And I realize that people that have that say that you give too much, I realize those are people that hoard their own feelings or they haven't confronted their own emotions. And so my being and my upfrontness or my ability to confront my issues is intimidating to them. And so I take that into consideration and I consider that projecting. So to everyone that tells me that, and people stop because I'll eat you up. Please don't DM me either because that's the worst thing to do. It would be like, yeah, don't even DM me. They would say, this is why the Lord gave me my own church because there's no way that she can be in anybody's church with this type of
I need
behavior.
to know where your church at. This sounds like y'all pastoring.
In Cerritos. In Cerritos, we have church on Sundays at 11 a.m. 18115 Valley View Avenue. And I tell people, listen, you have to understand that the Bible says we overcome by the word, right, of our testimony. So once I'm going through something, I already know that this is a testimony for something else, but I possess the ability to get rid of how I feel. Only people that have been through therapy and only people that process and are healing can do that. So if you have a problem with me doing that, then you don't know what healing is. You don't know what processing emotion is. And you don't know what confronting your fear, confronting being a human. I'm doing a series right now on Abraham, but it's also my steps of teaching us, reteaching, redirecting us to see Bible characters as human beings and not as divine beings. Because we forget that these people were just like us and they had drama just like us. And we get to talking about it and preaching on them like they don't got baby mamas. Like they wasn't sleeping with somebody. Like they wasn't on the DL. Like they wasn't hoeing. Like these people that we talk about very much, right? We preach about all the stuff, but we don't really look at how identical we are to them. Because we, as the body, we be dehumanizing each other. Like you're human, you make mistakes, you have feelings, and you're not going to hell just because you have feelings, and you're not doing a disservice to anybody because you have feelings. We pay to watch people act the fool. We pay to watch people demolish themselves. We pay and watch, we go watch people in fictitious movies and storylines, but they really have some validity to them. So why is it that when I'm a real person and I'm expressing myself, why are you what's you good? You need that because I'm expressing how I feel. So you have a problem. It's projecting. So you are mad because you have a problem and you haven't addressed it yet, and you're really jealous that I'm able to say how I feel and there's no consequences that comes with that. But you have a consequence, and I understand that.
So I don't know how often you catch the show, but I know me and Tim Lewis did a couple weeks talking about traditional church. And
I missed that one. I'm so old.
I've been asked to bring back the Taboo Church series. I had said I was going to do it this season, but we definitely doing next season. I have a couple people that would like to be a part of that as well, so that's going to be interesting. But one of the things that I talk about on here a lot is traditional church and why I don't go to church. Um, People in church give you this feeling like they're supposed to be perfect, and we are so far from. We are
Mm-hmm.
so far from. Um, I understand that we supposed to be Christ-like, and we supposed to live a Christ-like life, but it's some things like you said earlier we fall short. It's some things we gonna fall short on, and I don't think some people understand that fully. um I don't believe everybody's calling is the same. I don't believe, like, when people become a pastor, I don't believe every pastor's calling is the same. People get a building and they want to fill it with members, and they want to do what they seen their daddy do, their granddaddy do, their uncle do, and I don't believe everybody's calling is identical.
Mm-hmm.
So it's certain pastors, when I see how they are just in general, how they move, how they talk, it lets me know that they've stepped a little outside of traditional. That's why I said, where your church at? Pastor Marquise Williams.
Mm-hmm.
He's another pastor that I stay tapped into. Um, if you know
That's my
anything about
birthday twin.
Marquise,
Yeah,
you
that's my
know
birthday. That's my
is a
birthday
real,
twin. Yeah.
yeah, he's a real one. He's a real one. Um, and that's kind of what I be needing. Like I don't want to go to these churches that are just too stuffy and just people at church don't want to clap their hands no more. Church is Some churches is still in the fashion show. It
Mm-hmm.
just I need to be able to go in and sing my praises and go home. I don't want to hear about the church politics. I don't want to hear about what
None of
I
the
did
things.
last night. Yeah,
Yeah.
none of the things. I don't want to hear about what I did last night and posted on Facebook. I don't want to hear about what we talked about on Couch Conversations on Thursday, because everybody knows how I feel about Couch Conversations. This is a safe space for me and my guests to talk what we feel and say what we feel.
Boom,
So,
boom. Because that is a thing. I cannot stand that manipulation. People be peeking in at what you doing, and they so busy. It's jealousy. Let me tell you. Let me give this to you so I can set you free. People are jealous of your freedom. They're jealous of your freedom. You're a free thinker. You're open, and that is scary to people who are enslaved. Because the main thing is you said everybody's calling is different, but it shouldn't be everybody has a different position if it's one Lord, if it's one faith, if it's one baptism. The only thing that should be different is our character, our personalities, like the things that attract or the things that give other people. Like you said, Bishop Marquise, he's a kindred spirit, right? Because he's liberal. But even Bishop Marquise, he has a balance because he's very much traditional, but he knows how to be balanced because he knows how to be like a regular person also. We actually, Angelic actually used his church before we moved to Cerritos. That's where we were at. And he was one of the only pastors that was willing to take me in to give us a space while we got up on our feet after going through my church hell with the building that I was at. But in this day and age, church is being deconstructed. And it's being deconstructed because we people have abused the positions that we have in church. And we have taken those positions and have made them roles in people's lives. And we think we possess certain positions in people's lives that we don't have. So in other words, a pastor does not mean you're my father. A pastor does not mean that you have a space to control everything that I do just because I go to your church, right? When you are a part of a church, you are a part of a fellowship. But when you join the body of Christ, you join the fellowship of Christ. So therefore, this movement is supposed to all move like one. And then based upon where I go and I worship, that's supposed to be to my liking. Because I choose that place, I choose these people because that's how I get down. But when you start feeling like this not your get down, but you get guilt tripped for feeling wrong or being wrong because that's not your place, this ain't got nothing to do with God. Now it's got everything to do with man. So now this is why we're losing people in the church because we chokeholding people into a building or to a set organization that don't even belong to us. So nobody is meant, we don't own nobody. I don't own my members. If my members decide to go and worship or go learn or go do something for somebody else, that's that. That's not, it's like, what is wrong with that? Because at the end of the day, I'm giving you me. And when you adapt to me and you're like, oh, I want to be under that and I want to serve under that, it's then my responsibility to keep in my head above water so that I don't get ahead of myself, right? And then start taking on a God complex and then trying to control people. And now you got a whole bunch of disgruntled people in leadership. And then you have hurt people that I don't go to church no more. That disheartens me so. All of my church members are the ones that was not going to church. I'm proud to say that. I'm proud to say that I have a church body full of people who stopped going to church. They could testify in the comments. They literally stopped going to church and heard me preach and came and joined our church. And I don't even have like you got to join and do all that kind of stuff. We are non-traditional. I'm already a woman, number one. So folks gonna say I ain't called to pastor anyway. That's the first thing. Number two, my husband is a recovering gang member. So we already don't fit the bill. Like we already, it's a whole situation going on. So when you are worshiping or when you are where you are, it's supposed to be your people, it's supposed to be your group, right? And it shouldn't feel like slavery. It shouldn't feel like, you're being chastised. It shouldn't feel like you don't have an opinion. This my new thing. I'm too busy trying to love people I don't like. So I don't have time to be worrying about who you screwing, who you want to screw, what gender you want to be, nor do I got time for all the lies that you possibly got going. I'm just trying to get myself together. And hopefully you follow me, you'll learn from me, and you'll want to get your life together too. But if we spend time going over what Danny doing and all that you got going on, I'm not helping nobody.
One of the comments here says flesh has taken over and the presence of Christ was never there. Another one says that comes from leaders acting as though they are God and that they are the judge and the jury and not God himself.
Yes, agreed. Agree 1000%. because you do. That's why I said I pray that I don't get the God complex, because it's very easy to do. And I'm going to say, because I love to play the devil's advocate, we as a people have to stop pushing them to these positions, though.
Mm-hmm.
We have to stop, because we have to get out of this mentality that that these people are, that we could be subservient to them and that they're owed this right to our life. Because the moment we continue to do that, it becomes a drug to them. And then they get in this psychosis. We call it a spiritual psychosis, where they believe their own hype. I've seen a couple of shows where you have dealt with some controversial situations we got going on with some of our people, right? And it's like the level of mental illness within the body. We so busy talking about people lying and what they doing, and y'all, we not realizing these people is mentally ill. We not realizing these people is slow. They on the spectrum. And the more time we spending depicting and talking about what they doing and what they got going on, it's crazy to me, because the whole time I'm looking at you having an opinion about this person, but look at your draws. Who you sleeping with? When the last time you have? Why your teeth look like that? So if we was really gonna really be talking about what people have going on, we took God out of the whole equation, and we just pointing a finger at each other. The whole movement of the whole church, it's a gang organization that is getting tore down. It's blood on blood, crip on crip at this point, because we even lost sight of what we doing, and nobody want to go to church. Nobody. I don't want to go to church. That's why I got my own, so I can create a place for people like me and the others. My others. Shout out to all the others.
So yeah, y'all just keep me in prayer. People keep asking me, when am I going back to church? Somebody asked me the other day, when am I going back to church? Y'all just pray for me, because God ain't called me back to a church home yet. Okay. First of all, I'm just gonna make this public. Okay. I'm not going to nobody's church, and I'm just gonna be honest. I'm not coming to your church if you ain't got a praise team or a choir, because when I come in there, I'm gonna want to sing. Okay. If you know me, you know when I come in, I'm gonna want a microphone in my hand. I'm being real, okay? Because I grew up singing it. I was in the same church my whole life, and I left that church, okay? So I done been through the choir, the praise and worship team. I was the minister of music when I resigned and left. So I want to be able to come in your church and sing. If y'all have a church and you need somebody to come build up your music department, call me. But you got to give me a good word while I'm there, okay?
Come on.
I'm just being honest with y'all. I don't want to be involved in the church politics. Just let me sing and go home. Okay? I want to sing and go home. That's it.
Yeah.
You ain't got to pay me to be on your praise and worship team. You ain't got to pay me to be your praise and worship leader, your minister of music, nothing. Okay? I don't want your money. I just want to sing. That's it. And go home. I don't want to be a part of nothing else. Just sing and hear the word and go home. So if y'all will let me do that, call me, and I might want to come to your church. I'm just being honest. I'm being honest. So not on the spectrum. Okay, so let me get back to that comment too, because I was telling somebody recently that when you a teacher in school, or when you go to school, when you on a school campus, like special education has the department, and then you have the general population, and everybody knows. You got the general population over here, you got special education, and the general population knows who's in special ed, and special ed know who's in the general population. Everybody is labeled, everybody know how to deal with everybody, right? But then after graduation, we release these people out into the free world with no labels, and they just out here roaming free in the general population, and we don't know who is who.
I see where you're going.
We don't know who is who, and then they go out into the free world, and then they decide they want to go be at somebody's church, and y'all ordain them, not knowing it's food they
send my phone, Debbie. Log off your own show, because I'm about to
school, and then y'all letting them run the church. I'm just saying, y'all giving them positions.
Listen,
and that's what my head when you said something about the spectrum, because we are releasing people into the free world with no labels, and then giving them churches and pastors and ordaining them, and they have no comprehension skills. Do y'all know how many pastors is out here that don't comprehend half the stuff that they read in the Bible? Like, I'm not even trying to be funny. Do y'all know how
No,
many sermons I have sat through where people have quoted a scripture and they did not comprehend the scripture, so their sermon had nothing to do with the scripture? They
well,
just
okay,
went,
see now, let me put my educator hat on. So there's a disruption in the cognition. So we can't even get to comprehension when the cognition is not even there, right? So what I'm hearing you say is this is a whole nother ministry. So what I'm hearing you say is there's a need in the church that we need to start having divisions, right? And levels of education. So that's what it's giving. Because you are absolutely right. I paralleled that to in the church. So when you are new babe in Christ, that's just like you said, like when you're graduating, right? So you're a new babe in Christ, and then as soon as you become in Christ, we want to put you up and start putting you in places and putting you to work and let you do and operate without thoroughly getting the assessment so that we can figure out where your place, because it's a place for everybody in the kingdom. Bless the Lord for that. There's a place because grace allows us all to operate, and I think that that's where we're starving at. We're starving because there's not a balance of everybody want to be high, but what about the people who need special attention so that they can have the cognition, they can get the comprehension? That where's those levels? Because if we only have seminary for people to learn, what about the other people that can't really get to seminary? We do have some people who graduated special needs. So what happens to them? We just gonna put them up in the pulpit and let them make a fool of themselves because we laugh at this stuff now because it's on social media. So now it's funny. Now it's joking because we have so many memes and so many jokes and sounds now of people sounding ignorant and people not really know what they're talking about, and we laughing at it, the body. And you laughing, but it's 3, 4 people in your church that sound just like that and do just like that, and your pastor got the nerve to let him be up laying hands on somebody.
oh my
And
God. Talk
so,
about the hands. Oh Jesus, that's a whole nother couch conversation.
right. So it's
Some of y'all
giving.
need to stop laying hands on people, cause y'all listen. I really be wanting to like tell y'all must not know about spiritual transference, and y'all be out here laying hands and y'all ain't all together, and y'all be putting y'all stuff on other people. Y'all need to stop laying hands until y'all got y'all stuff together. At
They
least
don't
at
have,
least
what did
have
you say
your
before? You
they
said the
discern.
comprehension out there. So how can we even understand what discernment there if the comprehension out there? The
Oh my
fundamental things are
God.
not
This is
there.
getting worse and worse. This is getting worse and worse. Okay, so we need to let's see. We need to treat people like we need to treat them like they're in high school. So when you come to Christ, you are in pre-K, and then you need to go all the way through and graduate again, because
Hmm.
somebody needs to help these people comprehend. Because I'm
Hmm.
telling you, like, some of the stuff that these people say is not biblical. They're just regurgitating what somebody else said that was not biblical.
Well, where is the accountability for people to learn? And we gotta take a level of responsibility because there's a lot of gatekeeping in ministry. There's a lot of gatekeeping. You just said something very profound. You said, I don't gotta get paid. I just want to come and serve. You want to do what you love to do. So gone are those days. Because when I tell you, if I would have had that, now I have that within our music ministry because we don't have a lot of people at our church, but we are fortunate enough to have amazing people who volunteer their services because they wanted music. We know that music is a big component of your atmosphere and of your service, and so we have dedicated people who sing and who we have a wonderful worship leader and there's no stipend that he looks for. And I'll tell you the truth, they take care of their own ministry. They put their own money in what they want to do and what they want to have and what they want to see, and even on them building. Small church, they still have rehearsal. Small church, but they still are a decent in the order. They still learning their materials. We don't even have a musician, but guess what? It costs money and time to make an investment to get your tracks together because they not coming up with nothing random. They got to have the notes in the right parts. So all of those things, people that have a heart to do that are not looking for to be seen. That's what we don't have. So what you said was, I'm coming to what I like and what I want, right? But people, we don't have that anymore. We have people coming because they want a spot and they want something, they want incentives to come with that spot. So we need to get back to making church not be this audition stage for what's going to get you, what's going to get you in the limelight, but more so of a place where you can come to grow. Church used to be the educational system for us, for Black people. We didn't have school, we had church. We didn't have tutors, we had church. And even in the ignorance of our people back in that time, we were still learning. Where did we learn to read? Where did we learn to do math? In church. All of those things. That's why church was the educational system. That's Christian education. That was our education. And we don't have that anymore. So we got to take a space of responsibility to say, hey, if we have teachers in the church, the teachers should be responsible for curriculum. The teachers should be responsible for teaching. Every pastor, you said it earlier, that's not their assignment. So let's not be teaching. Y'all doing Bible study, and Bible study has become service. When the church gonna get Bible study? When the church gonna get study? We don't really have Sunday schools like we used to. And then Sunday schools have become marginalized because we buy other people's curriculum that does not go with the times, and it recycles the same information and it has not been updated. I'm sick of it. And I'm just in as a curriculum developer. So I create my own. That's the whole point of giving the gift that I have, because God gave me insight. He gave me wisdom. I don't have intellect. I have wisdom. So I'm not the smartest person in the world. God just gave me wisdom that there's no man can comprehend in me either. So I take that and I teach and I preach in a way that I'm able to know the difference. I know when I'm supposed to preach and I know when it's time to teach, so people can learn. And if nobody in my church know nothing, that's a problem. Period. That's a problem. I don't care about you singing, what you dress like, what you look like. You need to know the word. You need to know the word. That's it. And I'm not talking about repeating the scripture. I'm not talking about regurgitating what I said. I'm talking about application and interpretation versus the actual letter that is in the Bible, right? Knowing theology from doctrine, understanding that doctrine, right, and theology are two different things. We get a lot of theology, but we don't have doctrine. Mm-hmm. We got what we believe. And so now what I believe is what I'm giving to you. And now you taking that and run with it. But that ain't doctrine, though. That's just what you believe, because that's what theology is. And so now we have people that are coming in and they're deconstructing theology, and they're free thinking, and all the traditional people, they scared. And they saying, ooh, that's not godly. Ooh, they going to hell. Why? Because they have a question. Because they ask, where did the other people come from? Because they ask, well, why do I have to take off my hat in church? Because they asked them, where was at when Eve was talking to the serpent? Do snakes walk? They're asking the questions that are based upon the scriptures that are there that they're reading, because no one gave them the understanding, the interpretation, and the application. They just gave them their theology. And you can't survive off of somebody else's theology. You have to be able to you have to come in to know, what is your theology about God? What do you know about God? Where did you learn him? Not church. Don't give me church. Don't tell me who the pastor is, who the presiding prelate, who's the archbishop, or how long you've been at church. What do you believe God is? Is he a woman or he is a man? Is he something? Is he it? Is he spirit? What do you believe? I didn't ask you what somebody else said. What do you believe? And then why do you believe that? And that's what we're scared of.
Well, a lot of times, and this is why I stopped going to Bible study back in the day. They would have Bible study, and then when your question would be beyond their reach of knowledge, they got an attitude.
You ain't lying.
Tell me you will go find out until next week. Don't get mad at me for asking the question. Like, that's how I feel. So I don't go to Bible study, because I don't want to get asked a question I don't have the answer for, and then you be mad at me for asking the question.
And so I'm the pastor that I get those questions, or I get those testimonies in my DMs, but because I'm not a big wig, but I could tell if I could, because I'm people's gatekeeper. So I don't be telling people. I know probably the whole city's mess, and that's just because I'm a carrier. But I can tell you that it's very, very sad to know that there's a lot of people who feel the way you feel. That's like I asked a question and I still ain't got an answer, and it's been 10 years. Or I'm sick of being in Bible study and I'm not learning anything. And it happens a lot. It happens a lot. So then you see these other people and they're watching stuff on TV, and now they looking like, dang, I my church, they this seemed like a little bit better. But then we start talking about, oh, y'all watching that stuff on TV and that stuff on TV. You looking at all the stuff they have. Yeah, because that looks pretty practical to me. And what you talking about, it don't seem like you understand. And next thing you know, they'll be saying like you, I don't go to church no more because I wouldn't get nothing. I feel like I get excited about teaching. A question will come to me that could be off the wall, and that's my specialty. Ooh, I want to talk about. Please ask me something that's like off the wall, because if I don't know, I'm just intrigued to go find out because I want to know everything that we not talking about. I want to know everything. I want to know who was sleeping with who. I want to know if the baby daddy name on the birth certificate or was that who. I want to know why. What was they fighting at, or who was that? I want to know. I'm so good. I found out the first person that was making weed in the Bible. I could tell you, but I ain't gonna tell you on here because that's another story. But I got the tea.
Send it to me. I need to know. I need to know.
They was trading it, girl. They was trading. Look up mandarin plant. That might be a little too much for y'all because I'll mess around and shift everybody's doctrine right now. They were trading herbs. Now we know what happens when somebody say, "Where the weed man at?" Right? We know what that means. So that's in the Bible. But think about it. If I knew that, if somebody knew that, if you think about the people that you know, think about the people that you know that don't go to church. What do they want to know? What would have them locked in and coming?
Mm-hmm.
Is it he died and he rose?
No.
Is it the hoop and is it the draw in the pool? Is it the D flat? Or is it something that you can relate to, but that it puts God in where you are so that he doesn't feel like he's out of reach? Because I feel like most of the people feel like now, you have made God so out of reach for me, I can't get to him, so ain't no point in me coming to your church.
Right. Right. And yeah, I just
And she said she was shocked when I taught that. Oh, yeah, I
yeah.
teach on the good stuff.
I thank God for the people since I have left the church who have prayed over me and spoken into my life, and told me what thus said the Lord to keep me on my path. Because when I left the church, they just made me feel like you going to hell and it's over for you.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, I just never felt like the building was my calling. I like to go in there and sing, but I never felt like that was my calling. Like, so somebody ended up speaking into my life in 2020, really telling me what my purpose was. And I thank God for that. But I do realize it's not in the church building. I like being in the church building because that's where I grew up at. I like to go sing. I like to go enjoy the music.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like church, but that's just not my calling. That's not my calling. It's a couple people that I really look up to, and I don't really talk about them publicly or privately. But it's somebody that I look up to, and a couple people told me I shouldn't. One person they told me was too problematic, but that's why I like her. That's why I like her, because as problematic as she is, she can reach people that other people can't reach.
Mm-hmm.
As much as Kirk Franklin has strayed as far as he can go, Kirk Franklin still has the ability to reach people that other people can't reach. Like, I really sat down and had people tell me, "Oh, I didn't even listen to church music until Kirk Franklin came out. I didn't even think about going to church or listening to gospel music until Kirk Franklin came out. And a lot of people were introduced to God through Kirk Franklin. And
Yep.
but yeah, it's just I love being in church. I love singing in church, but that's just not where my calling is. That's not where my ministry is. I am really a community service person. I am a community person. I like to be out. When I was in Vegas, I don't think too many people noticed. I know my best friend noticed and my son noticed. When I was in Vegas, and I worked in restaurant service. At night after the restaurant closed, I would go down to, they call it Tent City in Vegas, but it's their equivalent of Skid Row.
Okay.
Um, I would go down to Tent City at night and pass out food and pray with people. Like
Hmm.
that's what my ministry is. My ministry is something different. But I love to sing. That's what draws me back into the church house. I love to
Hmm.
sing. So
I, can I
yeah,
say
I
something to
just
that? That's interesting because there might be people who watch this or listen and feel the same way. Because I have members of my church that have that share your testimony, but it's something that I want to redirect your language that you say that has one doesn't have anything to do with the other. And the first thing is that I'm so glad that you know your place. I'm so glad that you've identified what you are passionate about, but what actually is your assignment. But the church itself is not the place for your purpose. That's the difference. It shouldn't be. It's supposed to be your fill-in station so that you can go out to do exactly what that is that you're doing right now. But the fact that you are doing that and it is by your own omission, not because you have the push to go out and do service by what's pushing you and backing you, that's the problem. That's the disconnect. And that's the disconnect with the whole entire function and structure. People see the church as supposed to be where they're supposed to be. That's not what it's for. It is there to feed us so that we can go out and do what God has called us to do as individuals, not come in there and then pour in what we're supposed to do in there because that's not for them. It's not for you to come in and feed the people that are already getting fed. You're called to go out here to where they're overlooked, they're underserved, right? And you get your fuel to do that when you get to church. But a lot of people feel that weight like they're coming to church like it's their assignment, like it's they're intended to come there. And when you feel that pressure, that's why you stop coming. That's why you're not going. You're not going because you're looking for the church to fill a place that it's not supposed to do. The church is not where you're called to be because we have many churches that we can go to. So you're never and people say that and they don't understand. You're not called to a church. That's for a hired person. You can be hired by way of title or ministry. You called over there. But we're not called by God to a church. He created us to be servants so that we can be here to fuel all his people that are working. So you come here so that you can be filled, right? So that you can draw more people to him out there. You can't draw, we recycle and fish. We in here taking care of each other, and now we're tired and we're exhausted because we're all right here. Your purpose is doing what you're doing to these people who are underserved and the people who are getting overlooked. That's your purpose. You are just missing a component to fuel you so that when you have your moments of, okay, how do I pivot and how do I turn now with these people? Because I need to give them the more. So right now you're limited on what you can give them because you're limited on what you're getting. So now you're not getting fed. You're not getting fed the words and the application and the interpretation to help you grow past where you are. But when you're looking for ministry, you shouldn't be looking for a place of purpose. You should be looking for a place of fuel. You need gas for your car. That's what you're looking for. And like anything, what do? We look for the what? The best price of the gas of where we are. And that gas station might not be the one that's on your corner. It might be the one that's around the corner. So we're going where the gas prices are fitting for me and my budget. So you go where it's fitting for you, not because it's there for you for your purpose, but you're going there because it's fueling you for what you need to do outside of there. And your perk, you love to sing. So that's what you're looking for your gas. Like I want premium. So I'm going where the premium is a good price. And a lot of people should take that understanding, and when it comes to being at a church. The church is not your place of assignment. It's not your place of calling unless you have been hired there. But when you're going to a church, you are there so that in whatever season of your life, you can be filled, you can have fellowship and support, you can have love, you can have confidence, and you can have the system that you need, the ecosystem that you need to exist outside. And your ecosystem wasn't helping you outside because it was making you feel like you belong outside. So you just have to find a system that works for where you are. And Angie said that she was like, sound like Angelic Your Place. I don't extend invites to our church like come and join us. I always say come experience us, because experiencing us is different than you can't visit a church because it's your church already. My church is your church is my church. But you come experience so you can see if this is where you're at right now in this season. Because I do know that everybody's not called to be at one ministry forever. So you at another place.
Somebody tell my grandmama that. Somebody tell my grandmama,
Yeah.
Lord Jesus.
They stuck.
She think life just gonna come to an end because I don't want to go to their church no more. I've been there for 40 something years, and it's let me not speak bad on these people church. I just don't want to be there.
Yeah, you just don't want to be there. It's not your fuel anymore. That's all. It's not your fuel. You were different. I mean, at some point we can't keep using Arco. No shade, because I'm an Arco person. I got the app on my phone. I love the rebates. But some people, they love 76. Some people like Shell. Some people like Chevron. And it's just that you're in a season where certain things don't, it's sometimes you got to repot and replant. Replot and replant. But it's definitely you're needed, because the people that need you on the outside, they need you to have a base. They need you to have a foundation. And you're just one of those people who have escaped religion. So welcome to freedom. And don't let nobody make you think you different. Are you out of pocket? Are you wrong because you're thinking? You want to know the questions that everybody wants to know. You want to see what everybody else wants to see. And you want accountability from your leaders like everybody needs accountability, period. I need to be accountable as a human being, not because I'm a pastor. I can't, that's fake, right? I'm only going to live upright because I'm a pastor. I need to be accountable as a human, as a child of God, and as a follower of Jesus Christ. That's the commandment that he gave me, not no church. The church ain't gave me that. That's what I got to be individually, because when I get to heaven, I'm not going to get no perks for what I did in church. Sad. Hey, newsflash, put that out there. No one's going to talk about your days in practice and rehearsal and singing. No one's going to talk about your days in heaven, about how many times you usher, how many dinners you made, and how many songs you sang, and how many times you picked up Big Bertha that brought him to church. Nope. That's not going to be the conversation in heaven. So, work your works.
Yeah, I went through a real, I want to say, spiritual identity crisis for a while. Because that's how they make you feel in church. Like you got to serve, all your service needs to be in the church.
Yeah.
Or you're not going to make it. And one of my friends came to me and he said, I really don't tell you when God says, I don't really come to you what God told me to tell you. He was like, but God told me to tell you this. And I was just like, okay. And he just started speaking into my life about things that I was doing. Because I ain't gonna lie. Y'all, if y'all know me, y'all know I smoke weed probably more than anybody else I know. But it's a lot of other things I don't do. In church they try to tell you don't smoke weed, don't drink, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. And if you do these things, if you do any of them things, you're not living right, and yada yada yay. Okay, so that's where my mental was. Mm-hmm. So I felt like I couldn't go out and do what I was supposed to do because I still smoke weed, I still do this, I still do that, I still do this. And it was really a hindrance to me. And he came to me and told me, that's not what God is looking at you for. He not going to ask you how many times you hit the blunt. He looking at your heart and the service that you did. He looking at
Mhm.
how many souls you saved. He said
Mhm.
you worried about the wrong stuff. And that's when I started kind of breaking free of the traditional church mentality. Because before that I was struggling in a way that I shouldn't have been.
Mm.
But it was like people were just, you doing this and you doing that and you doing this. And then like one of the reasons why I left the church was because somebody told me I didn't need to be. I actually deleted the text. Somebody sent me a text message from the church and told me that I didn't need to be minister of music because I smoke weed. And the ministry comes first before the music. And I'm just too caught up in the music, and that's my lifestyle. My lifestyle is music. So I'm not concerned about the church, and I'm disrespectful to the church because I'm the minister of music and I smoke weed. Well, I don't come to church high. I'm not high during rehearsal. I'm not high when I'm doing praise and worship and none of y'all meetings. I just was disgusted with the whole thing. I ain't gonna lie, I was just disgusted with the whole thing, and that was just kind of my final straw. I was already disgusted
Mhm.
because I had been through years and years and years of church hurt at the same church, and I think that was just my last final straw.
Well, the main thing is this. You were at church because of church. You wasn't there because of God. So everything that you said that they said, it was right according to what they believed, which was the church. You disrespecting the church. You disrespecting the church. It wasn't you disrespecting God. It was you disrespecting the church. So the language, yeah,
Got
that's why I said it's in the language. You can hear it's a difference. So we're not concerned about your relationship with God. We're concerned about how it looks to the church, and they mean that church specifically, not the whole church in the world. It was an interesting comment that somebody put up on Facebook. I said they said when they said that Jesus was nowhere to be found in Japan, but yet that's where they got their foundation from because it doesn't matter where he's not at. You bring him there when you have that desire to want to know him. But if you're being forced to be made to look at the church and their perspective of how they want, that's what you're mad at. You're mad at the church. You have a disdain for the church, not the whole thing, but that church. And you're upset about it because they put that as a reflection of your respect. And now you see that as the dismantle of where you should be in the whole entire church in the world. And that's what the devil wants. That's what the enemy wants. That's how he wants us to be divided. But it's again, I wish that we can go back in the time and to give people who have been in these churches for a long time to give them the understanding the language. Just be upfront with people and tell them, I got a problem with you smoking weed. I got an
right.
issue with you and what you're doing. Because if we were for real, we would have less drama and less church hurt if we can just really air out and stop hiding behind spirituality and hiding behind religion and just say what it is. I'm mad because you screwed them, not me. That's why I'm talking about you. I'm mad because I feel like you get to do what you want to do, but I can't do what I want to do. Because that be the conversation. A lot of it is jealousy. I said this earlier of what you feel convicted by, but you're not doing it openly. So you got to put down what everybody else doing. It's all jealousy. You're free. You're free. I'm not going to say Jesus said it, the greatest commandment, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, and all your strength. That means that once you start loving me, not the church, once you start chasing me, not the church, when you start chasing me, not the music ministry, when you chase me, all those other things aren't going to matter to you. What pleases me is what's going to matter to you. And that looks different on everybody. Because how I chase after God and how I please God is going to be different from you. Because maybe you smoke weed, but maybe I drink too much. And maybe you smoke cigarettes, but maybe I screw everybody around the town too much. Don't even have a preference. I'm just open like that. So we all got these different things that we do. But depending on where we are, when we start loving God, those things will shed out because we're so busy chasing Him we don't care about nothing else. It's like we have tunnel vision. But everybody keep throwing, see, you can't keep showing up to the church like that. Well, who embarrassed? Because God been embarrassed with stuff. That's why he sent Jesus, because he was like, these niggas down here. So he already knew we was a mess. He knew we was a mess before we was on our way. Before we got the email to come down here, he already knew. He shook his head. He did all that. He cussed. He was like, I hate the day I created y'all. He said it. Y'all a bunch of hoes. Y'all just sleep around and be with any guy. Y'all just do whatever. And we get so perturbed when people be sinning as if God don't know we sinning. As if God didn't know we was gonna be screwing around. It's no surprise to him. He been had it. But we just want to make it seem like okay, because God don't like what you're doing. The language is all wrong. And that's why we have a generation not wanting to go to church because they've been badgered behind. You can't do that when you get to church. You can't do that with church. Okay, but what am I supposed to be doing then? Why was the question asked? Oh, you smoke weed. Why do you smoke weed? What's in it? Does it feel good? How it make you feel? Those are the questions that we should be asking because guess what?
And nobody asked. And you know what? That's what I thought was funny. Nobody asked. I went from having a prescription to now you don't need a prescription. But I'm like, okay, I smoke weed because I was on like 7 medications. 3 of them were mental. I was walking around like a zombie and I couldn't take it anymore. Now, when I first started smoking weed at 17, 18, 19, whatever, I think I was 18 or 19 when I first started smoking. I was just smoking to be smoking. But you know what I'm saying? When I started really finding out there were medical qualities in the weed, my friend will tell you I'm probably one of the most knowledgeable people when it comes to weed strains, terpenes, what it does, how to use it medically. I don't just smoke to smoke.
Ah,
I smoke because I came off all the medications. Now I smoke weed and I don't have to take nothing.
so are we condemning the patient with Alzheimer's because they got some weed? Are they they disrespecting the church too? To the person that has glaucoma because they have diabetes and they go into the store, the one that's at the corner. They go regularly. So they disrespecting the church too? To the person that has anxiety, CBD is a daily thing that they need. They going what's so that's so again we ranking these different things. So the thing of it is it's something that's going on with you that okay, I really want to get to the nitty gritty, but they can't even identify it because they're unaware within themselves. So all they can go to is it's not the church. You disrespecting the church and you a sinner and you not living right and you can't be coming up before the people like that. Meanwhile, God chose who to go before the people? Who? Everybody? No, nobody will be qualified according to the standard. I said, I've been preaching on Abraham. I said, Abraham had a baby mama, a baby on the side because he was impatient before he became the father of faith. So he had a whole situation going on. Are we talking about that? No, we're not. Because we want to put people in a box and have them enslaved and thinking that they are it's all oppression. I hate to sound pro black and everything, but it's just all a enslaved mentality that we have within the black church. And it's only in the black church because they don't have issues like this in the white church. They have issues that'll blow your mind. But in the church, black church, we got unnecessary. We wasting time. Why are we still talking about who's smoking weed and who's doing what? And I'm so sick of the main thing that I'm sick of right now is the gay narrative and the whole thing within the church. I'm over it because it's like it's bigger fish to fry. Because let me tell you something, it's been cross dressing, down low, trans, gay, straight, bi since before we got here.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we talking about it? Why are we talking about it?
It's
We're
always been in the
talking.
church. It's always been in the church.
It's all because it's in life. So why are we tackling and beating down in the church when this is a life practice that is happening? But we steady saying, oh, because you can't be in church like that. It's disrespecting the church. Well, can we work on relationships? Because what are people going through for real?
I
If it's
just
an
told
epidemic, why?
I just told somebody 2 weeks ago. I said if the church took out every song that was written by somebody that was gay, especially gay men, we wouldn't have probably like
Not a
90%
one.
of the choir songs will be gone. 95% probably. I mean, like, a lot of the music would be gone out of the church.
You want to know one of the, and I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna put it out there, and it's a poo poo poo. One of the biggest issues that we have concerning sexuality and perversion in the church is not LGBTQ. It is
No.
pedophilia. It
Yes.
is pedophilia. Let's just say
Yes.
what it is.
Yes.
Because we want to talk about it, we need to talk about that. Because a lot of the dysfunction that we have is because there's some trauma happening that we're not getting to the root of it. So we could talk about the two same lovers, or we could talk about Uncle Herb preying on the little girls and the little boys.
Right.
Okay, but we're not going. That's not what we on. But even in this is what I mean. Even in the Catholic Church, that's a problem. Why?
Hmm.
Because as religion goes, we harness on this one sin, on this one thing, and when you extract everything else out, these people is losing their minds. Yeah, a man gonna go for the kid and go for what he can get because you told this man he can't have sex. These people can't have sex. How is that gonna exist? How you gonna be in here? You thinking they're not gonna get their little tallywhacker touched and done? Yeah, yeah, because your laws says that this man shouldn't penetrate nothing. This is the body not created to penetrate?
It is
I'm
absolutely.
sorry, is it not? Are you not? Do are we still live? Are we still giving the narrative to our children? Oh, you're not gonna have sex until you get married.
They don't
Bye,
even say that anymore. We was just
bye,
talking about a couple weeks ago. They don't teach abstinence anymore. They don't teach
baby.
celibate anymore. At this point, y'all can pass out condoms in the church because y'all not teaching none of that no more.
Come
Everybody
on,
just doing what they do. It's a
come
free for
on,
all.
come on. Because little Tayshia is getting her boots knocked by the time she's 16. Little Tanasia, she out there. And you know why little Tanasia out there? Because she's been preyed on and hyped up by the deacon.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because the deacon is sliding in her DMs.
yeah.
And ask me how I know. Go look on the news and look at all of these young girls murdered, chopped up at the hands of these old niggas suppressing their own mental illness, suppressing their
Yeah,
own diseases. And here's on the other side of it because they can't openly be sick. Those are not the
yeah,
conversations we want to have. Because guess what? We have to have a space for the molester. We have to have a space for the rapist. We have to have a space for the murderer. Unfortunately, grace is given. So if we don't talk about it and they over there going through it and they can't say, I got a problem. They just gonna keep on praying and keep on doing things causing chaos and wreaking havoc. But we want
yeah,
to be focusing over here, and you want to focus on John having this purse. Baby, listen, you need to be over here focusing on what's going on over here. Because if we were really teaching and really getting down to the nitty gritty, no one would have time to be worrying about what we wearing or what we got going on, because it'll be nipped in the bud. It wouldn't even have got to that. It wouldn't have got to that. And you can't change grown people.
you can.
You can't change grown people. Well, if someone has made up in their mind that this is what's pleasing to them, the new directive is, does that please God? It's not about me. What pleases your God? In your life, how do you think God sees you? And I'll leave it at that. Because that's it. Because
This
at the end of the day,
this
that's
comment
it.
says the truth is we keep sweeping it under the rug and not creating a space for them to be delivered and healed.
Period. See this, and this is why I'm on the couch. Because you, me, that comment, those spaces are needed, but they're so taboo. We're having a conversation that people are having viral videos over. They talking about it, but in our space over here, oh, we don't want to talk about it. We don't want to talk about it. And then if you talking about it, we ain't gonna come over here and hear it because it's gonna trigger something. It's gonna trigger something. So you're not gonna want to go to nobody church, Danny. You can't because you're free thinking, and this can't be talked about because it is gonna highlight some stuff. And then poor pastors. Let me just say this too, because it's not always the wrongdoing. It's the mantle of what they got to deal with because people always have their opinions and they love pulling themselves out of situations rely on their support. But as soon as you don't agree with something, and as soon as you have your narrative, then here they go. They want to be saying, "Oh, I ain't coming. I ain't listening to pastor. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that." Why? Because they're speaking truth. So again, to the pastor who can't even bring up said issues because they're gonna worry about a rip and a split. That's a hard thing to navigate, and especially when it's not your church. Especially when you're coming in and you coming into a foundation that's already crooked or already kind of traditional, and it's a hard way. And so many ministries are being dismantled. I Do you know how many times people have told me they don't, like I said, nobody DM me no more, but I don't act like a pastor when I'm body work because you be twerking and you be doing all kind of stuff and doing, and guess what? And I'm having a good time with people in here that are atheists, with people in here that are Buddhists, people ain't never stepped foot in church. And guess what? When they get done, what church you go to? I'll go to your church because your church must be fun if it's you. Because I'm not entitled to how you feel because you already a caught fish. So how you feel is just your opinion. I don't care what I move and how I move. God uses me in ways that He don't use you, and I apologize if you don't understand that. So if God uses my twerk to draw something, God bless Him. God bless Him. Let you be received. But the reality of it is you're just mad because I'm how old I am and I'm saved and I'm twerking and you wish that your wife could be twerking, but you don't want nobody to see your wife. And it's fine. But just don't come over here bringing that to me. And that's the thing. This is God gave me a platform and I use my platform. That's it. I don't post. You follow me on TikTok, so TikTok life is different for me on my Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
I have different because it's different. So sometimes I might, share some of the stuff I put on TikTok because that's my brand over here. So I'm a brand and I operate in my lane and I don't change, but I know what's what. So I don't be on TikTok being religious and preaching and pass. That's not it. But I do have a responsibility to make sure my character reflects what it is that I believe. And I believe in God. And I believe that He desires for me to conduct myself that is in love, that is in positivity, and that it is free. So I can't be on there giving hate speech. I can't be in no kind of way. I can't hate a person because of how they look, and which means I can't hate a person because they say they love somebody that's the same sex as them. It doesn't go any different. You know what I mean? I can't say that I don't fool with you because you smoke weed. You're no different than me. We just got two different things that we do, but you're no different. So I can't be on there talking about people burning incense and burning sage and burning rocks and believing in crystals. I do it. That's your thing. And I'm just going to say, oh, wow, what do you get out of that? What do you do? That's deep. And then I'm going to say, you know what? They did do that in the Bible days. They burned incense. Yep, they did. They burned sage. They burned wood too. Yep, and they did it to keep out the energies. Now, I don't. I burn an incense to get the funk out. So you want to say I'm going to hell because I burned the incense? Because I was born on sage. My mother is a devout Christian, but I grew up going to the mosque, praying to the left, to the right, up and down, and I hum to Allah. I went to a Catholic school. Being a Christian, my mom had dreads. I grew up a Rastafarian life. So I've been around weed smoking all my life, and I don't smoke weed. So who am I to be like somebody smoke weed and I'm like, no, because everybody that was smoking weed was saved. They ain't on crack. So but it's the openness when you're around, when you're involved, right? When you're open. So I talk to Mormons. I talk to Jehovah's Witnesses. I talk to anybody that has an opinion or they have that don't mean I'm following them. Now, one person that I'm not going to talk to, I don't talk to them Hebrew Israelites. I can't. It's on sight because they get you to a point where it's not even about the word. It's just like, nigga, I want to sock you just because. Because what? Yeah, I can't do them. I can't do them. Them the only people. And it's not that I hate them. They have a stance that everybody else's belief does not tear down anybody else's belief. You know what I mean? Like You can go, anybody can fellowship with anybody. A Buddhist can come to a Christian church and enjoy worship. And I can go and I can enjoy some Zen and some Yanis. But with the Hebrew Israelite, they want to argue and they want to be aggressive with everything. And I just don't like the way they minimize and they dehumanize women. I just don't like it. I don't like it. God delivered us from being enslaved and being at the bottom. I'm every woman. It's all in me. So the nerve of you, I'm not here to just make babies and be your sex slave. And they got
Right.
that mentality. I would rather be a Muslim than be a Hebrew Israelite. I can't do them. And they are musty. All of them musty and dirty and
Oh
funky.
my
Them some
God.
musty men. Them some musty men.
Okay. We about to wrap it up, y'all, but I got one final question. If the woman you were 20 years ago could sit
Ooh,
down and meet the woman that you become now, what would she say to her? What would you say to her?
my Lord. Wait for it, Akilah. Wait for it. She would say, wait for it. It's all going to work out. Because I jumped the gun on a lot of stuff and being impatient. She would say, wait for it. It's going to work out. She would, I would give her a heads up.
Just wait for it, huh?
Just wait for it. It's coming. Just wait for it. Just wait for it.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show tonight.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for
Of
having me. I
course.
love these good old
Come back.
conversations.
You're welcome to come back anytime. The couch is always open. And I was happy to have you here and just
Oh,
have
I'm
this.
just glad to be here because folks be scared to talk to me. So I'm glad that I have the liberation to be me and just talk about what I know in my fashion. So I thank you that you created this space for such a time as this. So thank you for doing what you do and what you
Thank
bring to our culture of people and holding down the mantle, even despite what you have going on in your personal life, despite where you are and what you feel. You still remain committed to doing it all for His glory. Because at the end of the day, that's what you do it for. That's what you struggle for. That's what you suffer for. So I thank you for being open and allowing yourself to be vulnerable, to be and to be in the hot seat and have the target on you. Because you creating this space, I know that it has been times where you have been in front of the bullet. You've had to say some things and be the person to say the things that nobody else wanted to say or that nobody else wanted to talk about. And I do know something about you. I do know that you hold a space in your heart for the cast out and for the outcast.
Absolutely.
So thank you for having me.
Thank you. Come back anytime, really.
No problem.
Anytime. Thank you to everybody that tuned in tonight. I appreciate y'all. Thank you to Pastor Akilah Bailey, Coach Akilah Bailey, fitness trainer Akilah Bailey. She has so many hats, y'all. When let me tell y'all, if y'all don't know this, before anybody comes on the show, whether I know them or not, I always Google them and see if there's anything that I could pull up on the internet about them um, before the show. And when I pulled her up, it said pastor, educator, entrepreneur, dancer, mentor, and wellness advocate, and owner and creator of Bodyworks Fitness. So she wears a lot of hats, and I'm just thankful to have her on the show. And I knew she was going to come on with some insightful words. I'm excited about season 10, y'all. It's coming real soon. We got a few weeks. Next week will be our season finale, so make sure you tune in. We are going to go over some of the stuff that we have talked about this season. We're going to talk about some of the stuff we're going to talk about next season. I'm going to let y'all know some of the guests that we have for next season. So I'm excited about that. Y'all know I love doing a good season wrap-up show. So make sure you're back next week at 8 p.m. Hold on, let me grab all my little banners for y'all. Shout out again to So Blessed Creations. Thank you, Apostle Huggins. If we are looking for season 10 sponsors, so if you are interested, please text sponsor to my phone number. If you're interested in being on the show, you can shoot me a text message as well. Make sure you check out the website, divinemanagement.weebly.com. Also, go subscribe on YouTube at youtube.com/@therealdanigirl, or you can search DMEGTV. Please go subscribe on YouTube. I have been putting up posts about leaving Facebook. Season 10 will not be on Facebook at all. As you can see, the last couple of weeks, I've been posting the YouTube links when I go live. I will do that on Facebook. I will post the YouTube link, but we will not be going live on YouTube. I'm bringing some different content to season 10, and I don't want to deal with the copyright strikes that Facebook have. YouTube gives me a lot more leverage to be able to promote, to be able to have artists on and the artist content. So we going to YouTube. If you have not subscribed already, please go over there, turn on your notifications, and make sure that you are all set up for season 10. Make sure you can follow us on Couch Conversations Live on IG. Also, you can email me at couchconversationslive@gmail.com. Like I said, next week, September the 3rd, is our season finale. Make sure you come back at 8 p.m. And season 10 launches September 17th with a new format and my new co-host, Tim Lewis. So y'all stay tuned for that. And I'm just excited about everything going on with the show. And as I've been telling y'all for the last few weeks, my goal is just to be your favorite talk show host. So thank you to everybody that tuned in tonight. I don't have no closing words because, baby, it's all been said tonight. I just want to thank Akilah for sitting down with me tonight and introducing me to the woman behind all the titles: pastor, preacher, teacher, entrepreneur, coach, leader, counselor. The just a wonderful person. And just being open and sharing her life and her transformation with us has been amazing to watch. If you don't follow her on TikTok at Body Work Fitness, WERK, Body Work Fitness. And I guess that's all for tonight. So thank y'all for tuning in. I'm your favorite talk show host, Danni Gyrl, the one and only. And of course, there's nothing ever off limits on the couch. Y'all, I enjoy being here with y'all and having this safe space and having these conversations with y'all. I've been having brain farts, y'all, since I've been back on this medication, so y'all bear with me. But I just thank y'all. Also, I know it scrolls at the bottom of the live while I'm filming. If you would like to show your support for the show, you can by Apple Pay, Cash App, or Venmo. It's really appreciated. I'm about to do some new stuff to the studio, so I want to get some new camera angles and some new stuff for y'all. So if you don't mind contributing to what we got going on, it's really appreciated. Thank you to all the people that have contributed over the last couple of seasons as well. For those of you that don't know, we are in a whole podcast studio. People don't really know what it is until they pull up and come in. But yeah, Andrew built me a podcast studio. So every season I try to make some improvements to it and make it a little bit better for y'all. But thank you to everybody, and keep living, keep growing, keep believing, and keep having the conversations that matter, y'all. I'm going to say that one more time. Keep living, keep growing, keep believing, and keep having the conversations that matter. So thank y'all for tuning in tonight. I'm your favorite talk show host, Danni Gyrl, the one and only Danni Gyrl, okay? The real Danni Gyrl, because there's about 10 of them out there. But the original Danni Gyrl. And I'll see y'all next week, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for our Season 9 finale. Peace, and have a divine night.